It's time for connection of the mind, body, and emotions. Welcome to a place where you can unplug, tune in, and create. It's time for Conjuring the Human Spirit with your hosts, Allison Parr-Plasha and Sean McGuire Meeks. You're invited. Let's begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Conjuring the Human Spirit. My name is Sean McGuire Meeks, and I'm sitting here with the stunning and beautiful, gorgeous, framing, voguing over there, Allison Parr-Plasha.
Bring it on. What a lovely introduction. Ditto, ditto, ditto.
Oh, you look really pretty today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So today, we're so glad you've joined us. We're going to talk about something we don't want you to do to us today, which is ghosting.
Yes, it's not Halloween yet, so we're a little early. But because I was ghosted twice this past week, we were sharing with our production team that in some ways it's kind of how we got started when we started having just regular conversations about a year and a half ago now. Mm-hmm. I think it was me. He was just like, what's up with this ghosting? And we just got into this really incredible conversation. And then at the end, we were both like, we should do a podcast. And then you gave me the homework assignment to kind of take it to the next level. And we did. So we're back.
And we did, and we didn't ghost the idea. And I'm curious really around when that word even came into our consciousness, because I don't remember that as a young person saying, oh, they ghosted me. Do you?
No, I would love to know. I don't know if the proper word is etiology, but when did it get started? And has it really increased? Is it in our mind, or is it just because of just technology and the usage of our phones? So has it increased, or it just seems like it's increased?
I feel like ghosting is the new way we respond to each other. I mean, the lack of response.
Yeah.
It's like dismissal of the human spirit. How does it impact the human spirit? And what does it mean? I mean, let me ask you, Allison, what does it mean when you're ghosted, and how many different ways can one ghost one?
Right. And I think it's like it depends on the person. But for me, it's when someone literally disappears. And, there's people that have been in my life since I was 8 years old. I'm really blessed to have old friends and just people that I love. And if they don't get back to me, I don't look at it as ghosting. I'm like, oh, they're busy, they'll get back to me, or I'll nudge them. I see it as just people that I don't have a deep relationship with necessarily. Or I don't know, I have a person who did ghost me. We did have a deep relationship, but they just disappear. But then it's me saying, hey, are you out there? Are you doing okay? I remember I had a friend who, it was a good friend who ghosted me, but I left 3 messages. And I just remember the last message, I was like, okay, the ball is officially in your court. I've reached out twice. It's been a few months. So I look at that as official ghosting. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's got many layers and levels. I've got this fellow who owes me a lot of money, and he's ghosted the idea that he owes me money. But he's not ghosted me completely. So it's the weirdest thing. It's almost as if the ghost is in the room around that particular thing. But as far as everything else is good. So it's interesting. So there's that level. It's
I love that because I've never thought about that. But just even when you said ghosting the idea, you said at the very beginning, I was like, oh, I haven't broadened my perspective on this concept of ghosting.
I do know for sure that on whatever level it is, it's hurtful. As I said in the beginning, it's a new way to respond, is to not respond. But the weirdest thing is, it's accepted almost as if it's a response. So when I say something and I ask someone, hey, are you interested in going to dinner on Saturday night? And I don't hear anything back, I guess I'm left to assume that they're just not interested in going to dinner on Saturday night. And so I guess when I'm ghosted, the choice is how do I respond to that? Mm-hmm. How do I respond to being ghosted? How do you respond?
I do respond, and I'll just be in the just in the spirit of healthy communication, a response would be deeply appreciated.
Oh, that's so, what's the word? That's so, really? You say all that?
I do. Yeah, probably, not every single time. And you're bringing up kind of this broader concept
Of ghosting?
of ghosting. But yeah, I've been more this past year kind of calling people on it. And then I also understand, like, sometimes people do get caught up in stuff. And then, sometimes like a disaster did really happen to them. And so it's like I try really hard to not make assumptions.
That's so interesting because when I'm ghosted, I make up stories about why I've been ghosted. And
Yeah.
normally my stories are I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And or, like you said, there was someone who ghosted you that had health problems previously. And then
Yes.
you wonder, oh my goodness, do they have health problems? And then I'm thinking murderous thoughts around having been ghosted. And there they are over there suffering in their health problem. So
Well, it goes back to that idea we brought up in one of the episodes is like we are meaning making machines. So it's like we have a beginning of the story and an end. And if we don't have the end, we make it up and we get creative. But I think with Michael and I having our own business for so long, like there were times when we made up like a negative, like, did I do something wrong? Da, da, da. And then like the person does get back and it's like, oh, my dad died, and then we're like, oh shit.
yeah,
So-
but did dad really die?
Yes.
Because when I was drinking,
Yeah.
my mother died about 5 times.
Yeah. Right.
It was very convenient.
And again, it's hard because it's like, are we getting ghosted by somebody we know well? Or are we getting ghosted by a stranger? We just don't know. But I just remember when I worked with my college students, it was awful how they were like in partnership with somebody for like 6 months or a year.
Partnership meaning in a loving relationship.
Yes, a loving relationship. And the person just ghosted them. They just stopped talking to them and didn't tell them why. So yes, deep hurt.
Well, I think our lives too are so distracted these days that I think the presumption is that we are just going to move on to the next thing. I mean, it's similar to like media. God bless the families in Texas that were swept away by the flood, and now we're whatever the next storyline is, we're moving nuclear subs into this place, and then whatever the next storyline is. And we just have this built-in forgetter, or they know that our attention span is only so much, or that we're so overwhelmed already. And I think there's a misconception that if you ghost me, I've forgotten about it. Well, I can assure you, if you've ghosted me, I have not forgotten. I'm like waiting for the response. And also, I want to take ownership that I think I've been guilty of it myself.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, that's why I'm like almost like hesitant because I even asked like the production team, I'm like, have I ever ghosted you guys? Like, because it would never be intentional or on purpose, but sometimes we're in the middle of 5 things at once. And I'm sure I've ghosted somebody at some point.
Well, sometimes I've intentionally ghosted. I mean, I don't like to be ghosted. So do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? And yet sometimes there's just, I can't find the words to say.
I love that you're saying this because it just made me think earlier of like, well, why do people ghost? And, what are the causes? And I think there's probably lots of whys and causes, but I do think like some people just, like you're saying, they don't maybe have the communication piece down. They don't know how to say something. And so they just disappear and they ghost.
And what I also know to be true in my life, and I wonder if you find the same out there who are listening, that who you're being ghosted by is often a mirror for what you're doing in your own life. If you're constantly being ghosted, sometimes when things happen in my life and I'm just so uncertain about why they're happening, I ask myself, are you doing the same thing? And is this just a mirror for you? And so it's often a lesson, certainly a lesson. If maybe I'm not chronically ghosting, but someone's called and I've not called them back, and because maybe I couldn't find the words, or I just didn't want to do it, or life was too busy or overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And so I have done this personally in the past. When I've been ghosted, I kind of look and check myself. Where have you not followed up?
Yeah.
And where do you need to take a look and take accountability and follow up? And what I find is that when I do that and I clean up my side of the street and make those phone calls, I feel so much lighter.
Yes.
I feel so much more honorable. Sometimes it's so hard to do the hard stuff.
Yeah. I just know, like, when I first moved to Savannah, I was looking for a therapist for myself, and I was shocked by the amount of therapists that I was ghosted by. I mean, people not, I would share, like, hey, I really am in need, I'm new, da da da, and they just wouldn't get back to me, and that's kind of a trend.
Yeah, I'm
And
having the same exact thing happening here.
so, and I think because a lot of my colleagues where I have my office, they're also therapists. I'm like, what is up with therapists not getting back? And they don't even know that I'm, a life coach, previously a therapist. And they said, well, they're just busy and their practice is full. I'm like, who cares? Like, so what had brought up for me is, when people reach out for coaching or therapy, like, they're vulnerable and they deserve a phone call back. It's almost like, creating space and time if you're that busy to do that. To me, it's just respectful. So that's been a huge kind of odd and very uncomfortable surprise and we're not talking one therapist, we're talking quite a few, in Savannah.
Yeah, and it's not just therapists, it's
Yeah.
pine straw layers
Yes.
and plumbers and electricians and all of that. And as I'm thinking more about this, I'm thinking about the reasons I make up about why I'm being ghosted. And, as a gay man living here in central Georgia,
Yep.
now here in the country and not in the confines of the blue dot that is Atlanta, and all the wounds that I have around being ghosted by my own mother and ghosted by friends and family around my sexuality and sexual orientation. It's interesting because that's the story that I make up around why this Pine Straw guy didn't call me back this week. Because I'm looking him up on Facebook Marketplace, and I say to my husband, I think he went to my Facebook, and I think he sees I'm gay, and now he doesn't want to work with me.
And we make up these stories.
I don't know if that's true or not.
And meanwhile, maybe his dad just died.
Maybe, or maybe he's a crackhead. I have no idea.
Exactly.
And yet, it seems as if when we're talking about the human spirit and how it wounds and what wounds or what scabs are being pulled off, I think we all need to be conscious when we're ghosting, because we all do it in some form or fashion, be it consciously or unconsciously. What are we conjuring up in the human that we're ghosting? Mm-hmm. And what is our motives and intentions around that? And do we want doing unto others as we would have them do unto us?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, how do we navigate being either the receiver of somebody who's ghosted us, or that we ourselves have ghosted another? I would say, as a receiver, one idea or thought is like we're talking about of just the stories we make up, and just recognizing it's a story. So my thing is, when we're making up stories, it's okay to play with them. Sometimes they can be fun, sometimes not so fun, but recognizing it's a story and we're making it up. Because if we start to have an emotional reaction, we're like believing a story when it's simply not true. We don't know the truth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And yet that's what I do. And I really think that's what we all do. The impact and the power of, in the contrary to that, really is a quick follow-up, just to say, I'm busy right now and I can't get back. Or, we're going to do a future episode on teaching people how to treat us. Mm-hmm. And, in that regard, it's just my schedule is busy, or this relationship just isn't working out for me, or whatever the truth is. All of it can be said in love. It doesn't have to be, anger or pointed in any pointed way towards someone else.
Yeah, and then it's like we have like these built-in interesting things now on our phones called emojis, and I'm a big fan of emojis. So I always try my best because I'm just really into this idea of acknowledgement, of just giving a thumbs up, like received.
I hate thumbs up.
Yeah, so sorry
I
because I
hate.
probably give you.
Don't give me any thumbs up.
I try to give you
Didn't
hearts.
I live in for a heart? Listen.
Okay. All
if
right. Now
we're
I
in-
know.
Did I not even say that to you?
No, but I think I always give you
You,
hearts.
you probably. This guy, this other fella I know, and I know he listens to the podcast, and so I really appreciate it. But he just posted something on his social media that said, Generation Alpha and Gen Zs, and I don't know if he's even said, I think he's a millennial. He said that when you give a thumbs up, it's passive aggressive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Here I'm thinking emojis, but the idea is like really behind it, like not to get too much off a tangent. It's just acknowledging people, and I try to either typically first thing in the morning because I'm fresh, I try to go through the text messages or emails that have gone unanswered. Am I perfect? No, but it's really my goal to acknowledge.
But I kind of feel ghosted if you give me a thumbs up.
Oh my gosh. Oh Lord.
I don't know. It hurts my spirit a little bit. I need a heart. I feel like, in the world, we need as much love as we possibly can. And that love button is right next to that thumbs up button. And why not?
Yeah.
And I love the care button too. The care emoji. That just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to have a dog die for me to care about you. Like,
Yes.
I'm caring about you because there you are on the thing. So I think, I know it sounds trivial, but isn't that kind of where we are?
Sure.
As far as, level of expectations. If you're going to at least ghost me with an emoji, please ghost me with a heart emoji.
Okay.
And if you
Duly
really like
noted.
me, ghost me with a care emoji.
Or just have fun with those images because they're hilarious, right?
Oh,
What
you're
are they
talking about
called? The
memes?
GIF?
Oh, the memes and GIFs?
Yes.
GIFs.
GIFs is how they're calling GIFs.
No, I think it's been solved. The guy who did the GIF, GIF, says it's officially GIF, but it's still a big debate, even though the creator calls it a GIF. But
Well, you can see how complex things are,
some
right?
people say it's just peanut butter, but-
complexity. What I love is you've got a lovely email response now that when I email you, and whenever somebody emails Sean, he'll just be like, hey, I'm stepping away from technology more and more, and I'll get back to you at my earliest convenience.
No, actually, I say within 24 hours.
Yeah, and you do, and you do get back. But it's also like when we're on vacation or we're busy or we know we're going to take a fast from technology. It is helpful just to have that. So that's really appreciated. But ultimately, I think ghosting comes down to like communication. How do we stay in communication with? And how do we be honest and authentic?
Yeah, I love that you said honest and authentic because really sometimes most of us are so overwhelmed in our lives right now. I mean, between, maybe you have children and maybe you have 2 or 3 jobs and maybe, you're mowing 12 acres of land like I am and you're on the mower for 4 hours and then you want to get in the pool and take a moment or whatever. I think there's an expectation from everyone that they have their phone and they've seen it, and because there's read receipts. Do you have your read receipts on your phone?
I don't think so.
I purposefully turn mine off because I don't want people to know that I've read it because there's this expectation that I respond immediately when I've read it, and there's no opportunity to digest anymore. What do I want to say back, and how do I want to say it? Or do I want to respond in this moment? Is this even a good time? Am I having a good day? Am I having a bad day? We're old, and remember we would rush home to the voice, the cassette in the
Answering machine.
answering machine. Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. And we run home to the answering machine. I couldn't wait. There would be this. For all you young people listening, there would be this flashing light on the answering machine, and it would flash for as many messages as you had.
Yes, which meant you're special.
Right? It was kind of like the likes and loves of 1990 if you had a multitude of messages on your machine. But there it was, in perpetuity living on your answering machine that you could listen to the tone of their voice over and over and over. And, now, of course, talk about ghosting. They don't even want to hear your voice anymore. No one wants to hear your voice. It's almost insulting if you just pick up the phone and call a young person and don't text them in advance and tell them that you want to talk on the phone. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a total thing. And to me, that's so sad. They want to text, but so much is lost in that. And so, so many rules. There's so many rules around how we communicate these days. I want hearts. You don't care. Somebody doesn't want to be called. Somebody wants to be called. I would prefer talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's why I get ghosted sometimes, because they're like, oh God, there's Sean. He wants to talk again.
Maybe, I don't know. Again, we're kind of left with our stories, but it's like, is there resolution to this? Can we become that person who, if we're ghosting on any level, A, being honest with ourselves, and B, how do we shift and fix that out of really ultimately the human spirit? Like, how do we,
What do you mean when you say being honest with ourselves?
Actually, as you're talking, I'm doing a little level 1 listening of like, okay, who have I ghosted? Have I ghosted anybody? Do you know who I ghost? I get a lot of random reach outs, like, through social media. Like, I want to become like your virtual assistant. And I don't get back. So that's where I am ghosting.
Well, we're going to do another episode around, being tricked. And I think that's part of it, when probably the reason why people don't want to talk on the phone is because it doesn't matter. When I go to if I go to Atlanta and or I go to Savannah and I'm in a particular zip code, the phone knows I'm there, and a telemarketer uses that area code.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in a certain area code and they know I'm there and they use that.
Yeah.
And then they reach out and communicate with me, and it's never really a person that I want to communicate with. So it's seldom someone that's calling to speak with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually some telemarketer.
Yeah.
And so we just send them to voicemail, and it's kind of sad because it's breaking down our communication between one another.
Tell me about an experience where it's your most painful experience with where you were, I don't know if the word is victim of a ghosting experience, but where you were the recipient of somebody who ghosted you and was really painful.
Oh, you put me on the spot.
I can share one.
Go. Yeah, tell me yours then.
I've had two, but one is a lovely woman I went to graduate school with. We were very, very close. She invited me to her wedding. So we went to her wedding. And then she just kind of disappeared a bit. But I'm just one who really likes to kind of maintain friendships. They're really important to me. And so I would call her, didn't hear back. And, I must have left 2 or 3 messages like over a few months. Because again, I always get like people are busy, she's married, blah, blah, blah. And then I just remember the last call. And this is 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. I was like, hey, something like the ball is fully in your court now. Give me a call. And there was there was nothing bad that happened between us. It wasn't like there was an argument, and she never got back to me. So,
and still to this day?
Yeah. And so it's interesting. So I live in Savannah, as I mentioned 1,000 times. And I did see, because I did look her up. I was stalking a little bit and saw, because I just remember years ago she had moved to Hilton Head Island. And so I was like, I wonder if she's still there. And I saw she was in Charleston. And I spent quite a bit of time in Charleston, South Carolina. I was like, she's not on social media. Like, she has no media presence. So her husband's a doctor. So I just left a really sweet message with his doctor's office. And I had a lot of fun with the woman on the phone. And I'm like, this is an old friend. And nothing. There was just, again, like the continued ghosting.
I think too, though, there are seasons in our lives that we, some are a day, some are a month, some are a lifetime. And I think not everyone has the ability to know how to end those seasons appropriately.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't track anybody down if I didn't hear from them. I wouldn't stalk
You know,
them.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
care.
Like my theme has been like moving towards rather than away. And I was like, gosh, so much time has passed. And again, like there wasn't any bad blood that I can think of. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing, like anything negative between us. And I thought she would be like, yeah, let's connect and have coffee or something like that. So I wasn't hurt this time. It was just more like, I personally would never do that. But I think some people aren't as interested in cultivating relationships.
Well, there's that whole book or movie or whatever. They're just not that into you.
Just thinking the same thing.
Yeah. And you asked me about mine, and I would say that mine is my mother. My mother totally ghosted me. And I would send her flowers on her birthday and hear nothing. I would send her flowers year after year on my birthday, thanking her for my life, and hear nothing. I'd send cards and hear nothing. And that's probably the most dramatic ghost I ever had.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why the wound is so deep, around the ghosting. I always kind of go back to my sexuality, particularly here most recently while being in Central Georgia. And gratefully, I've grown so much as a man that I can know that they're missing out, or, I don't know, it baffles my mind.
Well, it's such a painful ghosting experience that you're sharing. What's coming up for me is like, it's like the lack of resolution. So when like I was talking about like the college students whose boyfriend and girlfriend broke up with them after a long relationship and never told them why. Like there's just this lack of resolution. Your mom passed away. To this day, there's just a lack of resolution. And maybe that's why ghosting, at least for me, can really irk me or upset me, because it's like there's not like an end to the story in some ways, or it's not a happy ending. There's no rainbows and unicorns on the other side. Because my other painful one is I have a family member who hasn't spoken to us as a family in 15 years and won't tell us why. I did reach out to this person recently because I caught wind that we were in the same town for a day overlapping.
And she ghosted you again.
And she ghosted me again.
Yeah.
But there was no like emotional attachment because I just assumed. But I did catch wind that they were like, they didn't know how to respond. So they just didn't respond.
Yeah, so we give people the benefit of the doubt and also acknowledge that I'm guilty of it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're guilty of it sometimes. But to just say out loud to all who are listening and to all that will hear it, it's hurtful. Ghosting is hurtful. Mm-hmm. And the human spirit of me wants more than that from the human spirit of you. And I want to give that to the human spirit of you, to honor you enough to say, I'm just not that into you anymore.
Right. How do we
How do you do it?
how can we offer maybe some tips for the ghosters out there? Like I've offered kind of a tip of if we're kind of the receiver of ghosting, but
I think for me, it's really around offering grace, recognizing that I too do it. Mm-hmm. And also there's a Toltec principle, shamanism, don't take anything personally. Mm-hmm. And that I try to walk that in my own life every day. And so if I'm ghosted, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
And no matter if it's personal or not, because all I have control over, because the stories I make up is I've always done something wrong. It doesn't have anything to do with they're horrible people or they don't want to get back to me. I've done something wrong. That's my story.
Yeah.
I'd be curious out there as you're listening to this, what is the story you make up when you're ghosted?
Yeah.
Is it something you've done wrong, or is it they're a horrible person? And does that differ from person to person?
I want to kind of give some tips to the people who actually ghost. So,
But I do that.
Do what?
I ghost.
Yeah. So
what tip you going to give me, Allison?
I know, Mr. Ghost. I guess it would be like, is there a way that you can communicate in a kind way to share your truth with this person rather than ghosting?
Yeah, I think all of that is a skill, and sometimes it's just easier to ghost. And I know it's hurtful, and if you don't know And I'm not sure, Allison.
I mean, and is it easier? Because I think I heard you say earlier, it like weighs on one's spirit. On the way here, because I was listening to a lot of podcasts, YouTube videos, and I was listening to Esther Hicks, and she just said, the energy of hate. I mean, it's just so low vibrational and it's so painful. Nobody like wants to hate. No one wants to dislike people. Love is kind of the energy that we all ultimately want. And so I think by addressing, like naming, like I did ghost you and I apologize and here's
it's
my
beautiful.
truth.
I mean, even when you said that, my spirit was lighter. There's something around owning that. And yeah, it's just,
Even if it's 6 months later, just to say, because it's kind of weigh heavy on chronic ghosters. I know you're really good about saying like that you ghost, and I do too. I mean, we all do, but there's these heavier ghosting energies, so to speak.
You know what I've been really learning lately is, and it's something that my grandmother used to say, and older people in my life when I was growing up said, which was, if you can count on one hand the number of good friends that you have, consider yourself lucky. And I think today we have so many quote friends. Like on Facebook, I have 3,000 quote friends, and or more, and Instagram, and how many likes can we get? How many this? None of which is really quality stuff. And so this level of expectation around how do I engage with those people that I really don't even know?
Yeah.
And really be intentional in communicating with the people that I'm in intimate relationships with.
Yeah.
And let the telemarketer, the digital assistant, and all of those things. Someone says in my life, if you're in my hula hoop, then you're really special to me. And I've got a good handful of people in my hula hoop, and I can assure you, I don't ghost them.
Right. I look at like the blessings of, being ghosted by at least 5 therapists led me to the right therapist. Like I love our handyman, and it took over a year to find him because we were just getting ghosted, just trying to find the right person. And he's great.
Well, yeah, I think you just hit on something too around getting ghosted and then letting that be the universe telling you this person's just not for you.
Yes.
And something else better is out there for you.
Yeah.
But not, I think, to say, if you get hurt emotionally like I do when you get ghosted, don't take it personal. I try to remind myself that on a regular basis. And something is better waiting for you out there. And you deserve better than that.
Yeah. And maybe you're just not like a vibrational match, to get a little out there. But since I was listening to Esther Hicks for a couple hours this morning.
Who is Esther Hicks?
She is aligned with the law of attraction. So she channels like one of the teachers, but ultimately it's based on manifestation and the law of attraction. We're going to be getting into that like in a future episode. I really like her a lot as a teacher, and a lot of what she says like is resonant. But to me, it just reminds me of like, I do feel like we're magnets, and like attracts like.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier about being a mirror.
Yes.
That's a mirror for me. If I'm being ghosted on a regular basis, am I also doing the ghosting? And really just taking a look at our own lives and seeing how we're behaving.
So there's that, but it's also like, or is it like they're just not a vibrational match? There's almost like there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with us. It's just not a match. So when I look at, again, just because, we moved to a new area not that long ago, I am kind of collecting kind of the people to help with our household. Even just like we're looking for a pet sitter, we just found somebody. I'm like, oh my God, she's like the perfect vibrational match. Like I love this person. I'm more than happy to hand over the keys. She can have a party at our house. I mean, I was like, as soon as my husband found her, I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. But it took a while. Like we went through like, I think 4 different people as we were searching for the right pet sitter.
Well, we certainly hope that we're a good vibrational match for you all who are listening. And we certainly don't want you to ghost us. We're really enjoying ourselves. I'll speak for myself. Are you enjoying yourself over there?
Oh my
Allison?
gosh, I'm having so much fun.
Yeah. And it's so fun to be with you every week. As you go about the week, start looking for those vibrational matches. I really love that, Allison. That resonates with me. And discard and let go of the people that are just not that into you.
Yes. And it's not you, it's them, by the way. Let's just get real, okay?
Or maybe it's you. Maybe you smell like cat pee. I don't know. But know that we love you, even if you smell like cat pee, and we're glad that you're here with us.
Speak for yourself. Okay.
We can't smell them from here. We're glad that you're with us every week as we talk about what impacts the human spirit and come up with ways together to conjure the human spirit. Because when you find that vibrational match, those are the people that are in your hula hoop. Those are the people that will listen to you for things that really matter. We're talking like next week, I think, right? We're going to be talking about complaining.
Yes.
I mean, complaining can be incessant, and it can also be something that's really needed. Mm-hmm. And sometimes as we complain, you got to cast those complaints in front of someone who can actually hear them so that we can heal. We're going to talk a little bit more about that next week. So thanks again for joining us.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace and blessings. Allison and I are so excited to invite you to the Magic of Listening workshop here at the farm.
Woohoo.
Yeah, September 19th, 20th, 21st. It's an auspicious time because it is fall equinox. That is a time of letting go, of stepping into this new you that you want. So come to the Magic of Listening. You can stay here at the farm. We have accommodations, both cabins and in the main homestead. There's also hotels nearby. If you've got hotel points, there's Hilton and Marriott. The primary thing is we want you here. It's $600 for the weekend, plus your accommodations. Lunch and dinner are always included in the weekend. If you stay here at the farm, then breakfast is included too, and you are in for a treat.
Also, let's just get real. I'm so excited to meet all of you because each time we do an episode, I really feel like we are sitting down with all of you having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a drink of water. And so I just think it would be absolutely fun and fabulous.
To do it in real time.
Oh my gosh, and to sit side by side and to meet like-minded people really in this incredible space of intimacy and connectivity.
Okay, and that's here at the farm. That's Pinehurst, Georgia. That's central Georgia. That's just 2 hours south of Atlanta. There's actually a shuttle even from the airport that will carry you just 20 minutes from the farm. And once you get behind the gates, we'll close the gates and you won't go anywhere. You'll be snug as a bug in a rug here with us for the weekend. And it's limited availability, so book now, maximum 12 people. But if there's 13, we'll make room. Mm-hmm. So you're invited.
Absolutely.
Please join us.
Yes.
We'll see you in September.
Can't wait.
Can you feel the excitement around the upcoming Magic of Listening workshop? We want you here. Learn more and go ahead and grab your spot by tapping the quick and easy link in the show notes of this episode. See the farm and get all the details on the Magic of Listening at McGuireLife.com. We can't wait to see you. Thanks for listening to Conjuring the Human Spirit. You can connect with us and even make plans to work one-on-one with Sean at McGuireLife.com and with Allison at viespritcoaching.com. That's VIEESPRIT coaching.com, or tap the links provided in the description of this episode. Until next time, remember, you're not alone.